This is KGW News at Sunrise.
This morning, we're following a deadly shooting at an assisted living complex in McMinnville. Police still haven't said who fired the deadly shot, but the incident started with a report of a man with a gun outside on the sidewalk. We'll have more on this coming up in just a minute. Plus.
So it was pretty traumatic. It was pretty upsetting and shocking, not knowing what to do.
Yeah, Clackamas County family who lost their home in the 2020 wildfires gets a new one in the same location. You're going to hear from them and the group that helped make it happen.
Also, Helium debuting a new comedy special this weekend. And I talked to the star of the show, a national act with kind of a soft spot for Portland.
And I love Portland. It's so green, it's so weird, and I just love it there. It's a lot of hippies. I love it.
That is stand-up comedian Jade Cataprida. She is in a ton of movies, TV shows, but coming up this morning at 5:15, she gives us a sneak peek at her newest project.
And we also have a riddle for you on this Wednesday morning. What do you get when you take National Waffle Day with National Sandwich Month?
You get a waffle sandwich.
You do, and you get a waffle sandwich segment, Rod, on the Sunrise Show this morning.
Wow.
So this place, I've never heard of it. It's called Smockin' Waffles.
Smockin'?
Smockin' like rockin'. We're rocking the Smockin' Waffles on this Wednesday morning. And I also read that they have like over 60 different varieties of waffle sandwiches.
Wow.
Have you ever had one waffle sandwich in your life?
No.
But I love waffles.
Had a chicken waffle sandwich, fried chicken in between with cheese and 2 waffles as the bread. Delicious.
Rod, you on board with that?
Yeah, are we sure that's the name? Smockin'? That's a very unique name, Smockin' Waffle.
Something we're very good at here is research. We researched the name. We found out it's called Smockin', and it's a Dutch word apparently that means tasty.
Tasty.
Oh, is that right?
It looks like smackin'.
The double A.
You knew that.
Smackin'.
Did you know that?
Yeah, I did the research.
Oh.
Research department is over here,
Darn
Rod.
it, nobody fills me in. All right, let's get you to your day planner. It's going to be heating up today, but nothing crazy, if you will. We're at 64 right now. We're mainly clear. 81 at noon. Yesterday it was 87, so you'll feel the difference. 93. I think at the most it could be some 95-degree hot spots. Yesterday, nobody up and down the valley made it to 90. Again, Portland stopped at 87, and that's your forecast.
Sounds good. All right, Rod, thank you. We start this morning with a big announcement that'll be coming from the White House later today. President Biden expected to make good on campaign promises to address student loan debt. So that could mean up to 10 grand would be wiped clean from your bill if you make less than $125,000 a year. The president is also likely to extend the pause on loan payments that was put in place in the pandemic. That is scheduled to end next month. Democrats have called on the president to forgive $50,000 for federal student loan debt, while Republicans argue that could make inflation even worse.
We want to make sure higher education is accessible, and we know education is the great equalizer.
You cannot add that to the debt at a time where the debt is at near record levels and inflation is a huge problem.
It's estimated over 40 million Americans are in debt for their education, totaling $1.7 trillion. The White House press briefing is scheduled for noon our time. We'll post any updates on air and online at KGW.com.
Police are investigating a shooting in McMinnville that witnesses say killed a man. This happened just after 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon near Northwest 2nd and Hill Road. Witnesses tell us McMinnville police responded to reports of a man with a gun standing out on the sidewalk. Neighboring businesses had to go into lockdown. Jeff Johnson lives in a nearby apartment and says his girlfriend was home at the time.
Said that she heard a shot fired, and then 10 minutes later sirens, and then a few minutes after that 10 cops banging on the door to be let in upstairs to go into this person's apartment.
A witness tells us she also heard a single gunshot. She shared this photo showing first responders performing CPR on the man. She says they spent about 10 minutes trying to revive him, but she believes he died. It's unclear who fired the shot that witnesses heard. Oregon State Police are investigating this. They have not released more information, though. We do expect to get an update from them later this morning. We also have an update on a shooting turned hostage situation at an auto shop in Southeast Portland last week. The suspect, 49-year-old Robert Connolly, now faces 20 charges, including attempted murder, attempted assault, and kidnapping. Police say Connolly was wanted, and when they tried to arrest him, he fired shots, ran inside, then held a customer hostage. It was all caught on surveillance video. That hostage later convinced Connolly to turn himself in, and no one was hurt.
The largest wildfire burning in Oregon right now is the Cedar Creek fire. It's burned more than 7,100 acres in a very steep and really difficult to access area of the Willamette National Forest, about 15 miles east of Oak Ridge in Lane County. More crews are being called to help fight this fire, which is 0% contained. There are still no evacuation orders in place, but the northern and western areas of the Waldo Lake Wilderness remain closed to the public.
Well, it has been 2 years since Oregon's historic and devastating wildfires, and some families are just now getting back on their feet.
That includes a Clackamas County family that finally had the chance to settle into their new home. As KGW's Christelle Coonway explains, a dedicated group of volunteers helped make it happen.
The 2020 wildfires ravaged communities across Oregon.
Smoke was just black. It was so hard to breathe.
Shyla James lives in Molalla with her daughter and remembers the evacuations.
We only could take our goats and our horses over to the Clackamas County Fair, and we were the last to return after about 2 weeks.
By then, their home was damaged beyond repair.
So it was pretty traumatic. It was pretty upsetting and shocking, not knowing what to do.
That's when Shyla heard from the Clackamas County Long-Term Recovery Group.
Our mission as volunteers is to support, rebuild, and recover the community here of Clackamas County.
Volunteer Pat Olson says the group formed 2 years ago. It's funded largely by private businesses and nonprofits and serves as a lifeline in the wake of the 2020 wildfires.
So our help includes actual home building, and I call it soup to nuts, all the way from permitting, working through land use.
They rebuilt Shyla's home from the ground up in about 8 months on the same property her old home used to be.
So it's been almost 2 years since we were living in our home.
Thanks to the Clackamas County Long-Term Recovery Group, Shyla and her daughter have a place to call home again in their beloved community.
And I have relatives all around. I grew up here, over 50 first cousins. My family came in the 1800s, escaped from communism in Poland. So it's really neat history, and we're thankful to be able to stay here.
Christelle Coonway, KGW News.
It has been 30 years since the devastating Category 5 Hurricane Andrew hit South Florida. The storm grew from a Category 1 to a Cat 5 in 36 hours, catching forecasters and residents off guard. It made landfall August 24th, 1992. Winds were 175 miles an hour, storm surges 17 feet tall, and completely leveled much of Miami-Dade County. NBC News' Kerry Sanders was there when it all happened, and he headed back to the hardest hit city of Homestead. So they're going to have their report on the anniversary coming up this morning on Today.
I just exclaimed when I saw that video. I mean, It's been a long time, but wow, what a mess.
You know, it's so quiet right now. We've had very little tropical activity this entire season, which is great. There's nothing brewing currently in the Atlantic or over in the Eastern Pacific.
Good.
So.
You want to knock on some wood instead of clapping your hands?
That's good news. Wood, Brenda, you're... No, just kidding. Just kidding, my dear. No, just kidding. By the way, so we're still talking about this rain chance on Saturday, right? So today will be the 48th day that we haven't had more than just a trace of moisture. You have to go back to July 6th. That was the day they had 16 of an inch. So if we can get some rain, that would be great. Now, on the flip side, I know it's Saturday, it's August, you have plans, you don't want it to rain. So we're still talking about either we don't get anything, or at most we have some scattered areas that could pick up 1/10 of an inch of rain and maybe some isolated downpours that would be a little bit more than that. But that's Saturday, so just know we're still watching that in the forecast. Right now, a little bit of rain is picking up in the extreme northeastern corner of our state. Otherwise, we're high and dry. We have morning cloudiness being reported at the coast. Yesterday, it wasn't solid cloud cover. Maybe it's not this morning. It's tough to tell this time of the morning. And then yesterday, we did end up with morning clouds up in Kelso Longview. We're kind of looking for that again this morning. But right now, inland areas reporting mainly clear skies. Salem's at 59, Portland 64. We have 50s in Baker City and Burns. Good morning. 57 is your current number. Futurecast does show Some cloudiness along the coast. There's a little bit of an early morning pickup in cloud cover. We'll see if anybody gets anything. I think there will be some clouds, at least up in Cowlitz County this morning. And then what I really want to show you is this afternoon. Not much, but here we are at 4 p.m. That's a chance of some scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms popping down around Baker City. There's at least a remote chance there could be a thunderstorm pop late today up over the Cascades. If you look to the east yesterday, you may remember we did, in fact, especially up around Mount St. Helens, we saw some towering cumulus clouds build up. So maybe there's something that pops up over the Cascades later today. Otherwise, it's a sunny forecast and a hot spot. Yeah, the Dows. Good morning, Wasco County. You could be up to about 101 today with similar temperatures in your forecast tomorrow. But everybody gets that cool down on Friday. So this heat up today and tomorrow. Friday we cool off. This shows 93 in Salem. That's not terrible, right? And then we have temperatures expected to get up to 91 in Longview, 94 in Vancouver, 93 in Battleground. Forecast numbers, the back-to-backers of 90-degree days. These will be days 22 and 23 of 90-degree heat so far this summer season. There's a cool off Friday, 84. There's that rain chance Saturday, 70s both days. Not much sun this weekend. Morning clouds Sunday could be slow to clear. And then we could get a little spike back up to 92 stay of next week. That is the forecast. It's the only one I have. That's it.
Well, you know what? We'll take it. Rob, thank you. Hey, Helium is debuting a new comedy special this weekend, and I talked to the star of the show, Jade Cataprida. Fans know her from movies and TV shows like The Soup. So we'll get a sneak peek at her newest project next on Sunrise.
Here's an update on our KGW school supply drive, which continues through next week. So far, we've raised enough cash and supplies, with your help, to help more than 11,000 local students. So great job so far, but let's keep it going. So one of the easiest ways to make a difference is by giving cash online. To do that, just go to kgw.com/school and click the Donate Cash tab. By the way, when you give online, you'll actually get something. You're going to get a Columbia Sportswear Employee Store Pass. So you give a little and you get a little through the school supply drive. You can also drop off actual supplies, by the way, like pencils and notebooks, crayons, markers, all of that good stuff. At today's collection event in Wilsonville, we're going to be out at Dick's Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram this afternoon from 3 to 6. A big thanks to Dick's Auto Group and On Point Community Credit Union and Safeway Albertsons and our friends at Intel. All of them joining us to make this year's school supply drive a huge success.